back to Stillworks and Brewing. I'm Randy. Today is Distilling Day. If you remember our last video, we made a single malt mash. Alright, it fermented out. So first thing we got to do now is we're going to check the specific gravity. Then we can calculate how much alcohol by volume it is. So let's get started. Okay, we took a sample of our fermented mash. And we'll take and put the hydrometer in there, give it a little spin. And we are floating at 1.00. So that means all the fermentation is done, that all the fermentable sugars that is in the mash has been converted over to alcohol. So if we do a little bit of math, we're looking at 1.095 is what we started with that mash. And we subtract out 1.00 from this hydrometer times 131.25 equals 12.46. So basically we're right about 12.5% alcohol in this liquid. Okay, so the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to fill the still up, we're going to set the column up, and we're going to be distilling here soon. Be right back. Okay, we got the fermented mash into the still pot. The next thing we're going to do, we'll set up the column. Okay, in the column, a lot of people believe, and which I think I do too, is you need copper in the system because I have an all stainless steel. So we're going to put 2 rolls of this copper mesh into the column. And it can't be too tight. It just kind of slips in there. Okay. We'll put the lid on the still. And all these clamps should only be hand tight. Don't ever use pliers or anything, a wrench or anything like that. All hand tight. You shouldn't need it any tighter than that. Okay, so here's our column with the copper mesh gasket. Use a tri-clamp. Next part is we got the gasket. Okay, so this is what they call a combination still. Okay, it has the pre-condensing chamber here. Okay, and it has the condenser here. Okay, so if I was to run a pot still, I'm only going to use this condenser. If I want to do reflux, I'm going to use both together. Okay, but when you run it in reflux, it strips pretty much all the flavor out of your mash, and I'm after some of that flavor that's in the mash, so I'm only going to use the regular condenser here. Okay, so we're going to heat this up. We're going to connect the water lines, cool water in here, out here. We're going to heat her up, and we'll be back. Okay, to give you an update where we're at, we're starting to heat up the mash in the pot. Okay, you can feel the column. She's starting to warm up. She is about, the pot itself is about 120 degrees. Head temperature is right around 90. Okay, so the vapors are starting to come up. Okay, the methanol about 145 degrees. It's going to start working its way up the column, and we'll collect that, and that's what we want to get rid of. Okay, so about 4 ounces is what I usually get rid of no matter what, just as a good habit. Okay, so as soon as we start collecting, I'll be back. Okay, we got our head temperature up past 145. She climbed on up to about 165. Where we collected about 4 ounces of methanol heads. So the next thing is, as it's coming up to about 180, 179, 180, I mean, you can smell. Okay, so we're coming into our heads now. I mean our hearts. So we're going to start collecting that. This is the heads, which has a very distinctive smell, and that's what we're going to get rid of. So we're going to start collecting our hearts, and this is probably going to take a while. So we'll come back. If you notice, it's well, she's running a little bit fast now. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. I want to slow it up a little bit. Okay, so we'll be back. As a quick note, on your head temperature, everything's based off your head temperature. She will go up to about 100, 120 degrees, and it's going to seem like it's going to stay there forever, but don't walk away, because she will climb to 180 in a heartbeat, okay? And if you want to know what it should look like in the collection jar, see, it should be drip, 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 spurt, drip, 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 and then a run. So she's running pretty good right there. And if you taste a little bit, just put it on your lips, you'll feel good little nice burn on it, a nice taste. Okay, that's just, we'll come back. We're collecting our second quart. I just wanted to take a sample of this, and it looks like we're about 138 proof. Okay, our first quart was 145. So I'm expecting that we will be getting one more quart off of this run, and I think that's going to be just about it. We'll see. And make sure you label your jars. Okay, if you notice, I changed over to a smaller collection jar because I've got 3 quarts off, and I'm expecting to start running in my tails soon. So this will be easier to make the final cuts. And the other thing, if you notice, on our head temperature, we went from 180 steadies, and it's starting to inch up. It's about 190 now. That means that the makeup of the mash that's in the kettle is starting to change. Once it gets up to about 200, I believe it's about done. So, but I'm using smaller collection jars so that we can make the cuts a little bit better. As you see, we got about 4 quarts of distilling here, and it's ranging from 145 proof down to 100. Okay, so that's a pretty good run off that still. What we'll do is we'll let this sit for a few days, and then we'll filter it, proof it down to where we want, and then we'll age it with a little bit of oak. So this will be an American single malt whiskey, okay, because it does not have any corn in it. So it ought to be interesting. We'll see you next time. Enjoy the adventure.